Yeah, I see it on my phone.
Yeah, we're live. We're live on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. Thank you all once again for being a part of this. This is the second live stream on my YouTube channel. And first of all, I want to apologize to my wonderful, wonderful guests, my friends, my familia, my brothers, basically, for trying to get this thing started. Had a little hiccups, some bumps along the road, come new to live streaming. But I got everything worked out, and we are now here. So let me do the Steve Harvey thing and try to give all my wonderful guests the introduction day that they so rightfully deserve. All right, coming from Colorado, what's my brother, Jeremy Souls from Summit Kaiju. Yes. And his beautiful, beautiful son. Yes, Gavin. Yes, Gavin. Yes. Thank you for being a part of this. All right. And of course, all the way out from Surprise, Arizona.
No.
Eric Arrington, the show up. Is Surprise or what? Phoenix? What?
Litchfield Park.
Huh?
Litchfield Park.
Whatever. You're in Arizona. That's all I know. Eric the Shower, or Eric Arrington. You saw him on the last live stream. Yes. Great friend of mine, just like Jeremy. You know what I mean? Happy to have him aboard. And of course, last but not least, you've seen him on the Fresh Vinyl Live show with Richard Eso. He's a very, very positive, strong pillar in the Godzilla community, collectible community. And he's one of my best friends. You know, had a pleasure meeting him a few years ago at G-Fest, and we've gotten closer ever since. The one and the only photographer extraordinaire, David Abdotko.
Hey, man. Hey, so I'm happy to be here. What's up, Eric?
How you doing, man?
I miss you, man.
Yeah, I've been around, man. Just been low-key.
Are you coming to G-Fest this year?
No.
Oh.
I'm done with G-Fest, man. I'm just I do what I gotta do. I can collect right here and enjoy everything from right here.
Well, from where I sit, it looks pretty awesome, your collection. I've never seen it before. It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yep.
So, Jeremy, how you been doing? I see you got the babysitting duties today.
Yeah, so do some design work, babysitting him. I got a Ghidra that I haven't opened up yet, so I'm planning on doing that later on today.
Okay.
And enjoying the cold weather here.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to keep y'all here that long. I want to have just a strict discussion devoted to X Plus Rit Boys, nothing but Rit Boys, you know what I mean? And I have like 5 topics as relates to Rit Boys. I want to be on this discussion for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I know it's Saturday. We all got things to do. But I want to have y'all aboard here. But before we get into the Rit Boy discussion, I do want to talk about a couple other things prior to the Rit Boy discussion. And I want to get your ideas and thoughts about Wonderfest. Of course, Wonderfest is going down in Japan. Should be going down in the next few hours because Japan is 12 hours ahead of us. And we all know that X Plus sometimes make a big showing of themselves at the show. And I'm sure all y'all by now has listened to the awesome interview that the great Kyle Yount did from the Kaiju Cast did with Mr. G. Okamoto. Yes, you see that?
Yep, I gotta represent my Northwest fellow Kaiju collector, Kyle Yount. He's a really good guy.
Great guy. Love him to death. Fun-loving guy. Just like David, a strong, positive advocate and pillar in this community. But he did an interview that he exclusively shared with the X Plus Collectors Facebook Club or group with the interview he did with G. Okamoto from X Plus. He has now uploaded that to his YouTube channel, so please get a chance to, if you get a chance, please check it out. So we're going to be referencing some things in the course of that video. But I want to ask y'all, and we'll start with Jeremy, then we go to Eric, then we go to David. As far as X Plus is concerned, and based off what we heard from that great interview that Kyle did with Mr. Okamoto, what are you most looking forward to seeing from X Plus drop at Wonderfest in a few hours?
I think the Rick exclusive Burning Godzilla. It's an orange figure. It's a re-release of the 30 centimeter X Plus that came out with the Oxygen Destroyer earlier this year. If I can get my hands on one, I'm definitely going to try to get one. There's no doubt about that. I love that sculpt of the Burning Godzilla. And there's also a lot of other great things that aren't X Plus related, but that's the thing I got my eye after.
All right. Eric, what about you?
You mean far as coming out, or what just Kyle talked about with Gee?
Well, just both. Based on what you heard from the interview, or just something that you see for yourself personally.
Well, let me see. I'm definitely looking forward to the gigantic Gigan and the 74. I just can't wait to see what that's going to exactly look like. You know, so that's what I'm mostly excited about. But you know, there's a few other things, you know, that's on the website that I'm curious about, but I'll leave that, you know, for another time. They give you little keys and little hints and stuff. I don't know if you guys seen it, but on the website, they're telling you to wait on something about, you know, just to wait on something that's supposedly got to do with soft eyes and it have to do with water, but they're only going to display it at the Winter Wonderfest.
Well, that's right.
So, I mean, I can tell you what my thoughts are. You know, I don't mean to go off topic, but I can kind of like tell you what my thoughts are, what's going to be released. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Actually, I think the only thing I could think of when they give you two keywords for soft eyes and water, the only thing I could think of is, if it is kaiju, the only thing I could think of is Aqua Mothra. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Dave, you can go ahead.
Well, actually, let me start with Eric's topic. I think that it's got to be Gizora, because this giant cuttlefish. Because if you see the film, he comes from the water, and it says soft eyes, and he's got those soft, googly eyes. Aqua Mothra's eyes aren't really soft, are they? Or maybe they are. I haven't seen that movie.
I mean, that's where, you know, I know what you're saying, Dave, but that's the only thing I could think of. Maybe you're right, because you have a little bit more knowledge than I do. So
it may be the octopus, the giant octopus from War of the Gargantuas, since they are putting out that set. And we've already seen the prototype pictures, so hopefully we'll get some photos of the actual figures that they show at G-Fest. The Gargantuas that they're going to have as a set. The Rick's going to be a set where they can kind of grapple together, and then it's also going to come with a set of arms so they can stand separately. So it may be the octopus that goes with Gyra. So that could be tied into that something that we already know is coming out. But you know what? X Plus is sneaky, man. You know, you never know what's coming, because like a few times since I've been collecting, is a really long time, they announce things, and then out of the blue, something just shows up, and it's coming out like next month. So it's like you never know. And I think that as forthcoming as the interview was, I think there's always a couple things up their sleeve that they're not telling us.
Yep, I agree with that one.
Because it keeps it interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Gargantuas actually in person, not just like a stock photo from like a stock prototype photo. So I'm looking forward to that. And you know, what I'm most looking forward to is, and I'm sure my one friend is really on board with me, the gigantic 64, which will be here in a few weeks.
Oh yeah,
probably. Like the end of March, and that thing is going to be a beast. It's going to be a masterpiece. So that's what I'm most looking forward to.
I'll be giving one of those away at G-Fest this year. That's going to be the prize from Summer Kaiju.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's a figure that I wouldn't even mind having too. So I can enter that contest too. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad at owning two of those. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you guys chose. I chose the closed mouth one because for whatever reason I'm more partial to a closed mouth custom figure. I don't know why. I just like the vibe of that sort of thing better. And I just think the closed mouth is. I think they just nailed the sculpt. If indeed the actual figure is anything like the prototype, which all indications point to it will be. So yeah, that's one thing I've wanted in my collection for quite some time, you know. And you and I actually have the M1 kit, which before was the quintessential gigantic 64 kit, but I think this one will be on par with that. And I'm just really stoked to get it. There he is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and to have an open mouth though.
Yeah.
Mine is actually the rubber suit version. So the mouth on mine is actually a little more closed than the hard vinyl one that you have, right?
Yeah, I have.
I think.
Yeah.
So mine is actually a little more closed. But yeah, it's gonna be a great piece. And I know a lot of collectors were saying, "Oh man, I hope that when they do the Giant 64, it's the same sculpt as the M1." I'm like, no, I want a different sculpt because I've already got it. You know, I don't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I sit. And you know, as Jeremy said too, I'm looking forward to seeing what other things that I never knew that I really needed that they're going to reveal at the Winter Wonderfest. So, and just one more little side note, I'm hoping that maybe next year I'll be able to go to Wonderfest in person and actually see it and experience it for the first time. So that's something that may or may not happen, but it's definitely sort of in the works right now. So yeah, that would be like a dream for me to actually experience Wonderfest firsthand. So
yeah, same here.
I'm right along with you on that, Dave.
What's that now?
I said I'm right along with you on that. I'm just, you know, I just been itching to go to Japan, man. You know, I wish I was there. You know, but I know I watched Kyle's video. My only problem is I don't think I'll be able to get around. I think I'll get lost.
You know, honestly, if you stick to Tokyo, I'm being honest here. After a few days of getting used to it, you'll be fine because I'd say 90% of the signage in the city of Tokyo is actually both in English and in Japanese. Okay. But once you get outside of Tokyo, like when we did our trip to Nagano and Nagisomachi in the mountains, the English is gone. There's zero English. And nothing is in English. So that was a little, I wouldn't recommend that on your first trip. But I think Tokyo, there's enough English-speaking people and signage to be able to get around. Plus, there's so many apps now that you can put on your phone that translate for you. Like apparently there's this new one that you can actually take a picture of the sign and in real time it translates it for you. Right. Like
Google Translate.
Yeah, but they sort of upped their game a little bit. So it's like you just take it and it just tells you what it is. So yeah, I think just getting used to the train system is going to be the biggest problem for everybody at first, but you'll get used to it. But I mean, if that's holding you back, if that's the only thing holding you back, then definitely go because you'll figure it out. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully at the end of this year, a group of us will be going to Japan. So I'm actually looking forward to that. It'll be my first time. And I think that it's going to be exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Oh, definitely. It will be. This will be, if I do go back next winter, a year from now, it'll be my 4th time.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it's just one of those places where, you know, for us as toy collectors, it's awesome. But for me personally, I love the culture. I love the food. I love the people. So any toy shopping that I do ends up being the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Right. Because I could go there and not shop for a single toy. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I could go there and not shop for a single toy in theory.
Do that. I would at least go to one toy store.
Yeah, you're gonna be. You know, I was lucky enough to experience when we went with Rich and John and Del and Kyle, we went all together in a group, and we were together, and then we separated and we were together. Seeing Rich Isso's expression when he hit Mandarake, that was worth the whole trip right there. I mean, it's just like, and I'd like to see the same thing with any one of you guys too, because I think you'll all would be like, just like, wow. But anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's.
No, it's fine. Hey, Leslie. I don't mean to. I just want to ask Jeremy a question. Jeremy, are you guys going around the time they have the model kit show? Because they do have a model kit show during the summer, I think.
So I think the group of us plan on going in November time. So if it's still around during that time, then yes.
Okay.
I know that we try to plan to go to the DNA exhibit, which was like all the old suits and things, the Godzilla films. That I feel like is something that would interest me the most, just being up close with the props and the suits and things. I think David went before in the past, so I saw some of the photos that he had previously posted from a couple of years back. But yeah, that for sure would be a dream come true to be able to do that stuff.
Yeah,
it's incredible. We got to go when I went with Kyle to do the Hail to the King documentary, and we were lucky enough to go to Godzilla's 60th anniversary, which had tons of the tokusatsu thing, like vintage Showa and Heisei props and suits all in one spot in Tokyo. And like to be in the room and just like inches away from the original oxygen destroyer that they used in the classic film that started it all was like, it was emotional for me. I was like, this is like incredible, because wisely they built that piece to last. It's not like a cheap plastic prop. It's made of metal and weathered, and it's actually quite large and beautiful. I think Kyle actually got to hold it on a different trip when he visited M1, because I think they have it. They had access to it at some point too. So, but yeah,
store right there.
It's pretty special. How about you, Leslie? You heading to Japan anytime soon?
I know I probably will try and go. It's gonna have to be when the kids get out the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't really. I mean, they like this stuff, but they don't really appreciate it as we do. So I know a trip to Japan will be something that me and Sandra would just do by ourselves.
Yeah, and you would love it, and she would love it too, because I went with Keith, my husband, and he isn't really into the toys at all, but he loves the culture and the food and the countryside and the people, and he had an amazing time. And like I said, you'll see that the toy shopping will be there, but you're going to find so many other things that you're going to love about Japan that's going to be just one component of your trip, which is awesome, I think.
Good. But for me, to circle back to what you said with two things. First, what I hope to see at Wonderfest is a Gigantic, obviously. No brand, obviously. Come on now. I think the idea would be, or at least probably the one that's more likely they're going to do, the 89. But I would love an 84.
The Gigantic 84?
Gigantic 84, yes. I think 84, to me, and this is my opinion, folks, I think the 84 is kind of overlooked in certain respects. Because that movie, say what you will about the 1985 version and how the 84 version film is superior. And maybe it is to a certain extent, but I grew up on 85 and I love 1985. And I just think that's a design that gets overlooked because it's a scary looking Godzilla. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, we love the 89, the 91. Of course, it's kind of hard to escape the burning Godzilla. But I think 84 is something that should be considered. If not for the Gigantic line, the Monster Maker 28 should be considered for the favorite sculptors line.
I agree.
So
I absolutely love the 25 centimeter 84 with the shirt. It's my favorite.
See, Jeremy, I'm not a fan of that figure at all. I think it's a little bit. It looks like the Cybot, but I want one that looks like the suit. You know, and even the 30 centimeter is okay. We need one that's knocked out of the park, like Leslie was saying, like Monster Maker 28 sculpt would be great, or a brand new sculpt would be great, because you know there's so many fans of the 84 that we all know. I think it would do really well. But as you know too, or maybe you don't know, the key to them producing these particular figures is the popularity in Japan, because they're not really thinking about us too much. They're thinking about sales in their own country first. We're sort of just like the icing on the cake, as it were, because you know that's why there's so many 89 figures. That's why there's so many 62 figures. It's what's popular in Japan and what they like. You know what I'm saying? So 84, I'm not really sure where that falls on the scale of popularity, but I know it's very popular here, and it would sell really, really well here. And I, you know, if it was a great sculpt, I would totally buy it.
Yeah, and the gigantic series, I'd go for it for sure.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm looking forward to. We should get some type of information from our good friend Jay Davies out there in Japan. And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a huge shout out to him and say thank you, because he's been going to these shows for, I know, at least 2 or 3 years. First one that has like got news over to us about what may be coming out. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, there have been some other people have done that, but he's been one of the main ones that's been consistent with getting this information come out the show. So I want to say on behalf of all my brothers here, and I'm sure a lot of other people too, thank you for providing the coverage and getting us the information and letting us know what may be coming out. Because sometimes, because we're not over there and they don't come out with this information like at the spur of the moment like that, you know what I mean? But like right now, it is 6 o'clock my time, and that means it's like 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:45 in the morning over there. So I would say like around in maybe 5 or 6 hours, we should hear something about what may be coming out. Yep. And Mr. Davies, thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. But now we have gotten what we may want to see, and I'm sure one of us is right. One of us was right in this situation. Let's go towards the Rick Boy topics for the evening. And the first Rick Boy topic is, you know, we all know what Rick Boys are. They're basically like exclusive figures from X Plus. There you have your standards, and you have your Rick Boys. Rick Boys sometimes come with an extra piece or come with the light feature on the figure. It's something special. It's like a special edition for the figure, in case you don't know. And I got Jeremy and Eric on board because I know mostly they collect Rick Boys. I mean, every now and then they may get a standard, but from what I've gathered, they mostly collect Rick Boys. And I wanted David on board because he's been like an X Plus collector since we knew about these things. You know, he's a veteran and one that I've looked to and want to be like as far as like a collector. Once I saw his collection and saw his at least the Kaiju Cast video about the X Plus primer, they showed his beautiful collection and stuff like that. Ever since then, I've been wanting to be more like him, a better collector, a great collector. And I know his advice would be invaluable.
Well, you absolutely have. I mean, you started a lot later than many of us, and you've already, acquired a pretty impressive collection. I mean, everybody sitting here has a pretty sweet collection, and sadly, I'm not behind mine because mine's downstairs, and I'm not set up to have a clear connection downstairs. So sadly, you just have to imagine it be behind me. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate the compliment. And, I joined the I was number 2 joining the X Plus group. I was the second person to join it way back when in 2011, I think, or 2010. I don't even remember when we started doing this. Yeah. And my very first, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think you posted the first picture there. I went all the way back to the beginning. I think you were the first one to put it back to the beginning.
And you know what it was? It was a picture of I think if I'm not mistaken, it was a picture of the Gargantua model kits because before they did the figures, they did a vinyl kit you had to put together and paint yourself. So I think that was my first picture, but my first X Plus figure was actually the Kiryu Goji 2001. I'm sorry, 2002 was the very first X Plus that I had, and Godzilla that I had. So yeah, I've been doing this for a bit.
Hey Dave.
Yeah.
Hey Dave. Who was the first? Was it Brad?
Brad started the group.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just tooling around the internet, and this is before any of these groups really got going. Before the Godzilla Collectors group, these other ones, and this and that. And I just started chatting with him, and I honestly don't even remember how it started and how I even found it, but maybe I was just Googling X Plus and it came up, but yeah, it definitely is how I met Rich Isso, James Hartman, John Bumpus, Paul Romero, all those guys.
Yeah.
Or John Stanowski. He was, he didn't have any he just had one or two, and now he's got the whole Flossies deal going on, and but yeah, it was definitely, we were just kind of like fumbling around. We didn't know, and we were just learning from each other, and seeing what's out there. But it was fun. It was a fun time to start from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I just got to say, I give you guys the utmost credit, because if it hadn't been for you and Brad, I don't think we none of us would have got together.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It was that group that got everybody together. I mean, I never would have been.
From TK, because that was where I started, TK.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wasn't really heavy into that, but I would check that out now and again. But
yeah, but I'm talking about when it first started.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah.
When it first started. Then once Brad started the Facebook group, everybody left.
That's right. That's true.
And they had guys telling me, "Oh, to come over there, or to come over there," and I'm not really a social media type guy, but and I was telling him, "No, I don't want to go." But I don't know if you remember Dan Mason.
Of course, yeah.
Dan Mason, he the one that convinced me to come over, because we used to talk back and forth all the time. And the only thing I didn't like about TK is you never really knew who anybody was. It was like the troll behind the computer. You never. You talk to them, but it wasn't too many people on there that was rude. But
you're right. You're right. It was more impersonal than that. Than the X Plus group was.
Yep.
And in the beginning, as you know, Eric, it was so small that we all knew each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was great about it, and Leslie, this, we had been talking before you came to G Fest. We had been talking, and then when we met at G Fest, it's like we knew each other forever.
It was cool.
Isn't that weird? It's like there was no oh yeah, well, is he the same person as he is behind the internet? Same thing with you, Eric, and Jeremy too. I'll never forget my first G Fest. I think it was 2013, my first one, and I didn't know anybody in person. I never met any of these guys in person. The only one I met was Kyle, and I wasn't gonna go until the last minute, and Rich is like, yeah, come on, man, let's go. And
it's a funny impression.
Impersonation is the highest form of flattery, in case Rich is listening. But anyway, he was the very first person besides Kyle that I had met in this genre, in this collecting world, and he was waiting for him in the lobby, and it's like we knew each other forever. It's so strange, It's very weird. And the same thing when we met James Hartman and John Bumpus. It's like they're all who they are behind the thing, Yeah. And in this day and age, so many people aren't who they are behind the thing. It was refreshing to see that everybody was. And they're some of my closest friends that I've been in touch with for years, and I talk to them more than I talk to some of my old friends from back in the day. So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, and it was you, David, and Rich, and Leslie, and a couple other people that got me going to G-Fest and helped support me and get me going for Summit Kaiju that first year. So I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure, and you know, it's always fun to get people going. And now that you've got going, you just like took the ball and ran with it, you know. And now Summit Kaiju is a you know, a staple at G-Fest. Like it's a thing, you know. So and Leslie, I always enjoyed doing your interviews because you always have the questions so ready to go, so we don't have to like, you know, what are we going to talk about next? You already have a topic, which we're going off of right now. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you're right though, David. Because we do have some good questions because he asked me one I'm still trying to figure out now.
Which one?
He asked me which was my first Rick.
Oh, okay.
And
actually, that's like topic number one. So let's go into it. So Eric, you have the floor. What was your first?
All right. I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I just can't remember because I know Dave can probably relate to this, but when I first started, I started collecting 30s. And I was pretty much getting everything from Hobby Search, maybe a few eBay here and there. Then Jim Jenkins, I have to call his name out because I give him credit for this. Jim Jenkins, once I saw his collection, I think he was doing mostly 25s. And for some reason, X Plus was doing more 25s. Like they were doing 30s, but then they started doing like 25s more and more and more and more and more. So I looked at it as if, well, if they're going to come out with, you know, 25s, I might as well start collecting 25. So I was pretty much doing like you did, Leslie. I was a late comer. So I was going on Joust, which is same as Yahoo Japan. I forget the other website, Bai. So that's how I got most of my 25s, the ones that I didn't have. But I think I might have even gotten my first Rick from one of those websites. You know, they're a Japanese eBay. So therefore, you know, I can't really pick and choose. It either had to be the only two I can think of is either the 68 with Minya or it was the 67 with Minya.
Those are two good ones. Yep.
Those are my two that I can go on because I can look at everything in my collection and I can't pick out anything that I don't remember, if that makes sense. You know, I just, like everything else, I pretty much do remember. But the 68 and the 67, I don't remember. But I know I got Ricks because I still have the freaking boxes.
Neat.
You know, so that's my story.
That's awesome.
When it comes to Rick, so Dave and Jeremy, you guys can go ahead.
Well, I'll go ahead. My first one was the King Caesar. And it came with the little statue that I absolutely love.
Oh, man.
I freaking love King Caesar so much. I actually emailed a guy on eBay and talked him down from the $300 price that he had it set. I think I paid something like $200 for him. I talked him down and showed him some of the design work I was doing, and he actually sold it to me for cheaper, which I really appreciated. And I've never seen one since, actually.
Nice work.
As far as like online and things, they're pretty hard to come by.
That's one of the top Ricks, man.
I absolutely wish somebody would make it an exact replica of the statue because I would buy it in a heartbeat.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy, that's my biggest regret is not choosing that Rick, going standard and not Rick, because that statue is everything.
Yes,
and I love that statue. It's big, and my favorite time are the days when they used to come with the pieces. The light up features are here. You only need one or two of those. You don't need every single one. But that statue is the bomb. I love that statue.
Yeah, try to put that up so people can see it.
It's beautiful. It looks just like the statue. And And I had a proposal, well, not a proposal. My fantasy, X Plus fantasy, would be if they decided to do a box set of all the Rick's extras in one box.
That would be awesome.
Imagine.
It sure would.
The statue, okay? The Moo soldier from the Manda figure.
The Mothra extra.
What else? The saucer, the Keylock saucer. Like every Rick that you could possibly imagine, just the little pieces.
Yeah.
Fun
Destroyer, right? I mean, I paid big money to get a loose Oxygen Destroyer because when I came back from Japan, having seen the real thing, I was obsessed with having one, a representation of it. So I remember I spent way too much for that piece, but that little tiny piece. But I don't regret it for a second.
Yeah, I actually enjoy the extras more than the light.
I do too. Absolutely. 100%.
And it only seems like the 25 centimeter line comes with the really cool extras most of the time.
Yep, absolutely.
So Dave, what was your first?
My first Rick? My first Rick was a long story, and some of you, Eric, you probably know this because you were in the X Plus group from the beginning. I was dying for a crawling light up horn Baragon. Okay. And I could not find one. They were the rarest thing ever. I wanted one more than anything else. And everybody knew that I wanted one, and they were all looking for me. Thank you, everybody. And then finally, I was trolling eBay, and I saw one. This guy in Chicago was selling who had a toy shop. And I said, I am not going to play around with this. I'm going to email him, private message him, and offer him a bunch of money so he can't refuse, and you just end the sale right there. And he did it. He ended the sale, and I got my Baragon. But, you know, and the good news is before anybody even saw it, really. Like, it was like, turned around, like, the whole thing was like maybe an hour or two as it was being listed. So I finally got my Baragon. I still have him. I'll never sell him. The horn lights up great. He didn't come with any other pieces, but the horn looks great. And and just a side note, he scales perfectly with the new Bandai Frankenstein.
Hey, Dave, did you get that?
What's that?
Did you have the Bandai Frankenstein?
I do.
Yeah, because me and Leslie was talking about that, but I most of my Frankensteins are all resin, so but I
didn't hear that.
Bandai did a real good job with that. They did an excellent job.
It's almost X Plus quality, to be honest. Do you guys have it? Jeremy, do you have it?
I don't have it. I still need to watch the movie. See,
Leslie, do you have it?
Leslie,
do you have the Frankenstein?
No, and that's actually something that I want to talk about later on.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you see it, grab it because it's Bandai Premium really up their game for this figure. It almost looks like X Plus quality, and I am completely happy to have one in my collection now. So, yeah. It's a little bit spendy, but it's worth it because there's nothing really else out there besides the Marmot and the M1 soft vinyl figures, which are stylized. Right. This is not as stylized.
Well, my first Rick was actually my first figure that I got as far as X Plus is concerned. The 1984 30 centimeter Godzilla. I wasn't aware it was a Rick Boy at the time. At the time, I was new. I didn't know anything about it. And of course, the Rick Boy I saw that figure was the little mini Shockers or the mini Sea Louse.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I opened the box. So I opened the box up, and the thing just came out the box. I'm like, what is that? You know what I mean? And that was my first Rick. Ever since then, I gave it to another friend of mine, Burley Wayne. We all know him. We all love him. And that's how we were able to be friends. I gave it to him. I didn't care about the sea louse that much. Now, had it been the Super X, the 25, I probably would have kept that. But I wasn't feeling it. As a matter of fact, my second figure I got from X Plus was Titanic Source. That was a Rick. They came with the sub, and I gave both the pieces, and that's how me and him became friends. I think he's supposed to be coming aboard real soon, so hopefully he'll be here soon. But that's my first Rick. And I want to transition to the next topic, which is what is your favorite Rick? And I'll start and get it out of the way. And I'll show you. My favorite
mine.
Huh?
I bet you it's the same as mine. I bet.
Yeah, I mean, so my favorite Rick, and this is kind of hard for me to pick out. I mean, I have a few Ricks. I don't have as many, maybe like Jeremy or Eric. But the ones I do have mean a lot. So this one was really not that hard to really pick. But mine is the gigantic GMK Bluefin with this is my favorite Rip Boy figure of all time. I love GMK. It's my favorite from the Millennium series. I love this more so than the regular one. This one is supposed to be due out real soon. I think next week. So if you pre-order one from Diamond, you know you're gonna be. This is my all-time favorite Rip Boy. I love it to death.
I never would have guessed that. You tricked me. I thought it was going to be something different.
Matter of fact, I know Leslie's got two of them. At least he did it one time.
What the
actually, you got three. If you count, that's the thing. How many GMKs? Technically, in this house, we got 3 Gigantics, 2 Sakai's, 1 regular 30 centimeter, and that's what, 6, and we're gonna have 7 come April when the new one comes out. But that's another story for another time. So Jeremy, what's your favorite Rip Boy?
Man, it is extremely hard. At one time, it was the Burning Godzilla. Gigantic 95, which I gave away to my little brother. And right now, it's got to be the Shin Gigantic. That thing is just massive. And it's kind of buried up there, but I'm going to grab it. But I've had the most fun with it, like taking the photos with it and just the pure size of it. Thing.
Okay.
Neat.
I want to get mine because I think I may surprise Leslie.
Okay. I guess
it's totally hard for me because there's so many figures that I've been looking forward to, but I think this one, I think a lot of people in the X Plus group will agree with me on this one.
Okay. I guess.
Is he going to get it?
Yeah. I had to get my ladder because I had these things up here.
He's busting out the ladder. Please do not fall.
Please don't.
Well, while he's getting his, I'll just tell you mine real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Mine is the Rick Light Up Fin Closed Mouth 64. I mean, it's clearly one of the best pieces. Oh, wait, is that what he has right there? That's it. You and me. Yep. Hands down. Perfection. Agree 1,000%.
That's it. David said it. This thing is awesome, man.
It's pretty damn near perfect.
Oh, man.
Now, Leslie, I thought that was going to be yours.
That's the thing. I once again, that's another one that I traded with Burley over. Yeah,
Wait, I thought you had it. You don't have it.
I did.
Leslie, you know, I'm pretty pissed off at you about that.
Well, that's the thing. I did have it, and Burley had a Mechanic Kong built up, and at the time, that's when the new Diamond reissues were coming out, and the Diamond reissue of the 66 64 was coming out. So I was like, you know what? I'll get rid of this Rick, and knowing I'm gonna get this new Diamond 64, and I traded that for the Mechanic Kong. Looking back on it now, I should have kept it, because that is probably the best Rick Boy out there. At least until when it comes out, hopefully. But
I don't think they're going to redo that one either.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, but that,
you know what?
the gigantic makes up for it, though. I'll tell you that. That gigantic Rick will probably make up for it.
Yeah.
And Leslie, you're getting the Rick, right?
I think we all getting Rick. We all going Rick on the 64 gigantic, right?
Closed mouth. Closed mouth. Yeah. So listen, you guys, I have to bow out for a minute. I have a 16-and-a-half-year-old dog that needs to go out.
Okay.
So I'll be back. I'll check back in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Well, fellas, since we got that out of the way, I want to ask, I know that both of y'all in particular, y'all get your boys yourself. Y'all don't go through a middleman like Mike Johnson or anybody else like that. Y'all get your boys pretty much yourself. I was all, and I guess, Jeremy, you can go first. Do you have any advice on how people can get Rip Boys themselves, or what they should do to get Rip Boys themselves? Do you have any advice that you want to give collectors out there?
Yeah. Well, I guess if they're going to go the route that I took, I'll just say that make sure you have Google Chrome, and you can take advantage of its translation features to navigate the Rick website and to sign up for a Tinso website forwarding address, so that way you can get it over. Now, everyone might have a different method on how they want to get it shipped to them, but that forwarding service with Tinso has always been pretty reliable for me. Things get there on time and shipped out to me, so I would suggest that. I think a lot of people get caught up in the fact that the sites are in Japanese and don't really realize that the power of Google Chrome to translate the text.
Yep. Jeremy pretty much said it all right there.
So, Eric, do you have any? So, Eric, do you have any other advice other than what Jeremy said, or any tips that you want to? I mean, of course, I don't want you to expose all your tricks and stuff like that, because I think that
it's fine. It's fine, because I know, it's people out there that, collectors that, want to try to get their own. But pretty much everything what Jeremy said, I mean, the fee is not that much. I mean, it's the Tinso fee, is freaking like, $20, $15. I mean, it could be a little more sometimes, because the yen and the dollar is totally different. But, it's not a problem. I'd rather do it that way and have it come, straight to me, instead of having it go to somebody else and somebody else sending it to you, because, by right, sooner or later, you're going to have to pay what you're getting, and also for them to send it to you. And the post office just, it's not cheap. It's not cheap even sending stuff, from coast to coast, I mean, a regular 30-centimeter box or 25-centimeter box, you're looking at almost $30 to $40 to ship it. Even within the United States, and like I said, it depends how big the box is. Because I know the two that I just got yesterday, I didn't think that fedora was going to be that big.
And that being said, there are a few figures that I have bought from Mike Johnson, like the Comic-Con exclusives that came out with the Shin, and the Clear Guts Hedra. So if people want to do that route, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if they're not really technically savvy. But for the people that are, you have your choice of what you want to do. But from the experience that I have had with Mike Johnson, it's been pretty good. Just to throw that one out.
Right.
I agree.
There are also other people out there like Tyler Boots Carlson, Jim, Serenella. I'm sorry if I'm killing your name. You know what I mean? I'm sorry about that. But I think it's a good thing that nowadays we got more people out there. I know that Mike Johnson is in high demand, and I can only imagine the client list that he had, and of course you don't want to feel like they're bugging somebody. You know what I mean? So it's nice that other people are out there that can help you get these things, especially when it comes to Ritz. I know personally, I only have a handful of Ritz in my collection. Because the way I collect, I more so go for the standards, and whenever I go for a red board, I want it to be special. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Now, if you go all for Ritz, then that's cool. Everybody has their own way of collecting. But for me, I'd rather collect the Ritz that I know is going to be worth it, which will also lead into my next topic. About disappointment when it comes to Rick boys and stuff like that. But it's nice, like I said to my original point, there are more people out there that can help you get Ritz. Because back in the day, the only person that I knew that could help you do it was Mike Johnson. So it's nice that other people are out there that can help you. And plus, there are a couple of vendors on eBay that also are good with getting Ricks and pricing right. The thing is, you have to be on eBay at the time that the figure is released. Otherwise, the more you wait, the more up the price they go. So I think that's good that more people can get Ricks. I know personally, I'm starting to go more so for Ricks this year with the upcoming Gigantic 4 and the Gargantua set, going Rick on both of those. So I can't wait for those. But let's talk about disappointment Ricks. Was there a Rick board option that came out past, present, in the future that basically disappointed you, or made you say, you know what, I just go standard? Is there a figure that comes to mind that was a disappointment as far as like Rick board feature is concerned?
So I'll go ahead and say the most recent release of the Future Sakai 54. Got that figure yesterday, put in the batteries, and it had pretty bad light in the front and on the back of the head. I think that's the only time that I can really recall that I've got kind of a dysfunctional one. It's not terrible, but it's definitely noticeable that maybe there wasn't enough paint or something that got applied. And the only other one that I can think of that's ever given me trouble is another light up, and that was the 25 centimeter Burning Godzilla. It had a pretty bad light leak with that one too, and the cone that it came with to light up the figure broke off inside of it. It's going to snap off inside of it. So I was not able to get that out yet. I haven't really tried too hard, but those are the only two that really have, like I say, given me some sort of problem or disappointment.
Jeremy, did you say the just recent 54 you having problems with?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a light leak to the chest and on the back of the head.
Okay.
So it just looked like maybe if I get some paint on the inside, I could stop the light from bleeding through. But it's not a huge deal, but it's enough to notice, I guess.
Okay. Well, with me, the only problem I had was with the that I really don't care for, but I had problems with the 74. I think it's the RMC though, so I don't know if you would consider that a work or not, but 74 Mechagodzilla, and that there, as soon as I popped in the brain head, the lights just went totally out. So that's just a total loss. And I have one more. I'm trying to think of what it is. When it comes to Rick, I think that's pretty much it. I haven't really been disappointing. I mean, you know, some things are just smaller than what I thought it was, but it is what it is. You know, you take a gamble when you get stuff, and you know, when you see it on a picture versus seeing it on a table.
I see David's back. Welcome back, my friend. We were talking about disappointments when it comes to Rip Boys. Like, was there a figure, Rip Boy figure that came out, or the brick, excuse me, that disappointed you, that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna pass over the standard? Eric just mentioned that the 25 Michael Godzilla 74 was a disappointment.
Yeah, but I don't know if you would consider that a Rick though. I mean, Dave, would you consider that a Rick if it's the RMC?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the one that came out 2 years ago,
the Polystone one.
Yeah, that was a Rick.
Okay.
I'm just saying, for like Rick features or Rick exclusives, you know, like the 25 centimeter Storm 2 Shin Godzilla. I mean, I wanted to be open to all Ricks. You know what I mean? Which one disappointed you?
Well, I can name another one. I mean, you know, the only other one I can think of is the 25 centimeter Burning Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what Jeremy just said. The 25 centimeter Burning Godzilla.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear him. I just heard about the 54. Sorry.
No, you good. You good. Dave, before you get into yours, I just go over mine real quick. And shockingly enough, I hate to say it, but I love the figure, but the Rick feature sucks. The 30 centimeter Rick Boy of the 62 Godzilla.
Don't you dare.
It's an awesome figure. I mean, I take nothing away from it. But the Rick Boy feature, it sucks. It's white LEDs, which is not accurate. Now, that's the thing. They got it right on the 25 centimeter 62. But the sculpt of that face on that figure sucks. But they got the blue LEDs in the dorsal plates. Had they put this in here, which basically how it was, I would say this probably could rival the 64 Rick. I'm just saying my opinion. But it's a good figure, but the light up feature is not what it should be. And that was a disappointment. But I'm still glad to have it nonetheless.
That was the first X Plus I ever bought right there. But the standard edition.
Cool. Okay. All right, Dave. You have a disappointment, Rick?
Let me just ask you a quick question. Didn't the 30 centimeter 62 also come with the Pashimboya, the little figure? Didn't it come?
Yeah.
Because that's awesome.
This was the reissue. This is the reissue that came out in the same year as the Rick Boy 64. It came out. It came out in 2013. The 64 came out during the summer. This one came out like around September, October.
Gotcha. I forgot about that because I knew that the very first Rick, it did not have light up fins, dorsal plates, but it also came with a little mascot from Mr. Taco's company, which is pretty sweet. I love those little obscure things like that.
Right.
I don't understand. What was it exactly?
It's a little mascot from the Pacific Pharmaceutical Company that Mr. Taco works for. He sent them to Faroe Island to get the Kong to be their advertising mascot.
That's
and
awesome.
It's not really talked about in the movie, but the scenes where Mr. Taco's flipping out, especially in the Japanese version, you see him sitting on the counter. He's got a little bag, and he's also called Pashimboya and Travelman Boya.
Oh, you have one of those, right?
I do. I actually have an X Plus bobblehead one that's super rare that Kyle got me in Japan.
I was kind of wondering what the thing.
Do you want to see it?
You better notice that in the American Japanese version, you can definitely make it out because that's what I had to do. Because when I first saw that, I was like, where did it come from? You know what I mean? But you have to watch a Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla to get a good look at it.
That's right.
You know what it looks like, right?
Huh?
No, I was asking Jeremy. I don't know if Dave want to run up and get his, but
you want to see it?
If you want to see a quick picture, I got it. I got one on the side of a plaque. If you want to see it right quick.
Yeah, just show it so they don't have to leave. Go ahead, show it.
Yeah.
If it's close, mine's downstairs.
Yeah,
But,
so yeah, like I said,
that's-
yeah, you barely see it in the American version. It's like it's glossed over in that scene.
I don't know if you
Like
can see
in
that.
Japanese version.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's him. That's him.
Yep.
Yep, that's him. And the Rick, the original Rick came with a little figure of him, which, like I said before, oh yeah, that's awesome. What is that? That's cool.
It's the 50th anniversary. And they put Kong on there, but it's dedicated
Oh, dang, dude, that's awesome.
to that movie.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. That's
Yeah.
pretty. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
That's intense.
I had it for a while, but you know, it's just something I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of people not a huge fan or I don't know, but I'm just a huge fan of Kong, period.
Too.
Yeah.
I love Kong, and I think that you guys know that the model kit that's coming out.
Yep.
That the vinyl Beto Kong is coming. Actually, hopefully this month. And it's a vinyl kit. It's super, super cool. And Eric, I don't know if you've seen it. It's a vinyl kit, 30-centimeter vinyl kit that's coming.
From who? Do you know who made it? I don't know.
Roto Kaiju.
What's that?
Roto Kaiju.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
We can send you the link to it.
Look,
After
I have to
this.
apologize. I have to apologize to you guys, but I don't have any contact. Contact with anybody. I don't know what's coming out, when it's coming out. The only person I keep in contact is with Leslie, and Leslie, he tells me everything. I know he was telling me something that Burley's doing, and he the one that gave me the hookup of the Hot Toys. Is it Hot Toys, Leslie?
The Prime One Studios Gamma that comes out from Side.
Well, you're gonna love you're gonna love this Kong coming out, and I'll make sure that you get the information from either Jeremy or Leslie after we're done with this.
All right, good. Thanks. I appreciate it.
You need to have it because, in my opinion, it surpasses the Billiken in accuracy. It's beautiful. It looks really cool. So
Okay.
we'll make sure you get that information before.
All right, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Sure. And it's coming out hopefully by the end of this month.
Oh wow. So am I late for a pre-order?
Yeah, I think you missed the pre-order, but I think they're going to have a certain amount. They're just going to sell retail. So I'll make like I said, I'll make sure you get the information.
And David,
yeah,
are you going to be able to paint mine? Because I want you to paint that thing.
You know what? You're the first to ask me, and so absolutely, I'm sure there'll be more than one, but yours absolutely. I will absolutely paint yours as soon as I paint mine.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So if you want. This is just a side thing real quick. Have them send it to me so you don't have to send it again, and then I'll just send it to you when I'm done painting.
Yeah, I actually thought about that if you were going to do it.
So we'll talk about that later, but anyway. Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
And y'all are not that far from each other with you, Jeremy being in Colorado and David being in Washington versus me being all over here in North Carolina. So at least it'll probably get back to you sooner than it would me. But trust me, you're in great hands with David. Trust me on that.
Hey, Leslie, hopefully you'll be in Colorado before you know it.
Yeah, hopefully. But David, did you mention what was your disappointment Rick Boy option was?
Honestly, Leslie, I don't have a whole lot of Ricks, so I don't really have any that I'm disappointed with. What I will tell you that I'm disappointed at myself for passing on some of the awesome ones. That's my disappointment. I'm disappointed that I passed on the King Caesar, as Jeremy showed that beautiful one. I'm disappointed that I can't think of the exact ones now, but there's so many Rick little extras that I wish I would have had. Like the little flying Varan that came with the 30 centimeter. He's pretty sweet. The little the flying Hedora that comes with the 30 centimeter. That's my disappointment, that I was going a little bit on the cheap, and instead of spending the extra $40, now that I regret it totally, because they're not going to make those again, which in the reissues, they tend not to do the little Rick extras. And the light up features seem to be the trend now.
I kind of hope.
Go ahead.
I kind of hope they stop making as many light ups, personally.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I heard a little bit of the tail end of your complaint about your 54. I got the standard and I love it. It's pretty perfect. Leslie, you and I talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I'm really telling you from a fan to another that it's going to be one of those ones that people are going to want, I think, so anyway.
Yeah.
So Leslie,
yeah.
I want to ask Jeremy. So Jeremy, on yours, I don't know if you can see pretty good, but on yours, you're saying knees. Your problem is up in here?
Yeah.
Is up top?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh. Wow.
And on the chest.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick about the light ups. The light ups are cool, but honestly, how often do you actually use it?
Well, that's the good question there. And I thought about rigging up a wire to every single one of them that I could light them all up at one time. I haven't figured out how to get the circuit just right.
Oh, that would be sweet. That would be an excellent photograph.
So yeah. I'm trying to rig up because you got to get the prongs just right for the switches to hit the electricity to go through these little notches right here. Yeah. But if I can figure them all out and rig them all up to a single wire to get them all lit up, I think that's where it'd be awesome.
Yeah. That would be really neat to see. Did you guys happen to catch that dude who's selling his gigantic Shin standard that he put lights inside?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, that's pretty incredible. Looks like it stepped out of the movie. So they are pretty impressive, but for me personally, I light them up like the first couple of days, and then I never light them up again. So, and they're really, really hard to photograph correctly. The hard thing, because when you put the light up dorsal plates on, you can't see the eyes, and I hate photographs of Godzilla's where the eyes, you can't see them, because the eyes are the soul of the piece, in my opinion. So, I try. It's so hard to rig up a system where you can clearly see the dorsal plates and see the eyes. You know what I mean? So
you must hate a lot of my photos in because I don't put eyes in a lot of them.
No. You do silhouettes though, and there's a difference between silhouettes, which is supposed to be that way. And that's not true because I absolutely love the ones that you posted today at 54. When you do a shot, everything's lit up, but the eye looks like there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mistake that's easy to make. I wish they'd make the eyes light up too.
Yeah, that'd be sweet actually.
That would be cool. They could easily do that. Just make because my Baragon, my Rick Baragon, which is the one that I had a hard time getting. The vinyl is super thin behind the eyes, so when I turn it on, the horn lights up and the eyes light up too. So it's pretty sweet. Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look weird. Like it doesn't look weird, transparent.
It doesn't because the rest of the vinyl is solid, and maybe it's just a mistake or I don't know what, but the vinyl behind the eyes is almost like translucent, so you can see the light come through, and there's no bleeding anywhere else. So it's pretty sweet. I'll take a photograph of it and send it to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't like my figures that much either. The only time I really light them up is when I take pictures of them, because I don't want them to burn out. Because I remember watching Rich's video of his Mechagodzilla 75, and my heart bleeded. It bled when that thing burnt out in the middle of his review. You know what I mean? So
I remember that one too.
I don't really like my figures that much, but I have to say, this right here, this is a great light up. This Gauss that came out last year, I know Eric gonna feel me on this one.
Yeah,
this was a great light up.
I don't even know what that thing is. Is that Ultraman?
No, that's Gamma.
No, it's Gauss. It's the vampire flying fox monster from Gamera.
Yeah, you gotta excuse me. I don't know all the rest of it besides Godzilla mainly.
Well, that's the thing. I highly recommend the Showa Gamera films, but
only like two, maybe two.
But on that one, I highly recommend because Gamera had 8 films in his Showa filmography, whatever. There's no secret that a good majority of them pandered to little kids. So I don't want to recommend those, but I recommend the first three. Gamera, The Invincible, or just plain Gamera. Gamera versus Baragon, my favorite film.
My personal favorite.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's not Baragon, it's Barugon.
Barugon. Yeah, I've heard of this.
He's the one with the tongue. He's got some crazy powers. We were talking about this the other day, and yeah, there he is. That's him.
Yeah, what the heck, dude? That thing looks crazy.
It's crazy. You know why? You know why it looks crazy? Because it is crazy.
Jeremy, the thing uses the damn thing, his tongue like a battering ram. Like there's a scene in the film where he's like approaching Kobe, and I don't know if you know that I'm familiar with Kobe, but Kobe has like this big like tower near the port. Baragon walks up to it, takes his tongue, and rams the tongue to the tower. It's falling down.
It's basically like a giant baseball bat.
No. Wait a minute, Leslie. He freezes it first. Doesn't he freeze it first, and then he knocks it down?
No. He didn't freeze until he didn't use his freezing weapon until he got to Osaka.
Okay, all right, but Jeremy, just so you know, that tongue on the tip, he can actually freeze things. He can make froth, like totally freeze everything.
Wow.
Oh man, you got to see that movie. That's a good one.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is actually a Rip Boy option too.
I do have that one, and
ironically enough, yeah.
And if that's not crazy enough, he's born from an opal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's born from an opal. You really have to watch the film. That film is great. You know, I would say it will rival even some of Godzilla's films during the '60s. I highly recommend, like I said, the first three films: Gamera versus Barugon, and Gamera versus Gauss. The rest of them, call me later.
Yeah, exactly. But this one is by far the most serious entry in the whole series, even more so than Gamera the Invincible, because there's not one child in this movie.
Right.
And it's definitely. It's gory, people die, and I'm not going to tell you anymore, but it's definitely a departure from the rest of the series, you know, in my opinion. And it's interesting. It's interesting.
It is. Even though Baragon is weird, but Barugon is weird, but the film, it's a really good monster film with a very, very great story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I want to go to my last topic because I kept y'all here long enough. And the topic is this: I'm gonna give each one of y'all a monster, and let's just say you were G Okamoto. What would you decide if and when this unprecedented monster comes out? What would you like for the Rip Boy option to be? And David, and y'all can choose either 25, 30, Sakai, favorite sculptors line, gigantic. It's all you. But after I give you the monster, just tell me what Rip Boy option you like to see with it. David.
Yes, sir.
You got Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Well, you know I love Frankenstein, right?
Right. You got Frankenstein. Eric. You got Orga.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Jeremy?
Yeah. That's going to be hard, man.
You got King Ghidorah, 1991. So I'm going to let y'all do your thing first. And whoever wants to go first, y'all can. And I'll go last with mine. But yeah, David Frankenstein, Eric Orga, and Jeremy King Ghidorah, 1991. What would you like to see as a Rip Boy option? Because you know, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. We know they're gonna come at some point. X Plus will do these figures.
Ironically, I watched that film today.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So the thing I like about that film, I think would be really cool, is a 25 centimeter King Ghidorah, but in the flying stance, like as he's flying across the sky in a 25 centimeter line. I think that would be cool.
And the Rip Boy option would be?
I don't know. Honestly, I would avoid the light ups. I would say maybe something to do with the film. Maybe like the little head that was on the bottom of the ocean. Like something like the fossilized head on the bottom. I think that would be cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go.
Eric,
I'll go.
David,
the only Rick option I can come up for Orga would be maybe a separate headpiece with the umbrella mouth.
I say, hey, make it a blow up. You just blow in a tube and it comes open.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's the only thing I can think of. Or the only other thing I can think of is maybe, you know, just because Orga, I don't know, he was kind of like that freaking monster. What's that? Not Zigra, but Virus. Wasn't he like a spaceship or something at first?
No, Orga was the alien presence inside.
No. He was in the form of a rock at first.
No. The spaceship was like had the rock embedded all around him.
Right.
Orga is basically the essence of the alien inside of the spaceship, because the alien didn't have like a true form. But once it got a hold of Godzilla's DNA, it mutated into what Orga is. I guess couldn't take Godzilla's DNA. You know, I mean, eventually, had it got control of it, it probably would have made a Godzilla clone, because that's how it was going towards in the film anyway. It was going to be a Godzilla clone, but I guess Godzilla's DNA was just for the handle. That's what I took from it.
Okay, so my second option would be either the spaceship, but not in a vertical position inside of a rock.
Oh, that's cool, because I like that when it was like this over the ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I think for you, what would be a cool Rick Boy for the King Ghidorah 91 would be the three little Dorats. You know,
I forgot all about those things. Early Godzilla sword.
They're the ones or Godzillasaurus.
Yes.
I mean,
okay, I take back my answer. That's perfect.
Yeah.
The little, what do you call them? Zorax?
Dorats.
Yeah, I would totally buy one of those if I had that. Even like little 25 centimeter line, I'd do it.
Hold on, Spanky, stop. He's bothering his sister.
Hold on, what's on the back of your shirt, man? That's awesome.
Oh, it's Kaiju Cast. It's Kyle's design.
Dude, yes, that's sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so my turn. So I have Frankenstein, one of my favorite entries, and one of my favorite Toho non-Godzilla films. So it would probably be in a 25 centimeter scale because it's a human figure. You don't want it to be too big. And I have two options. One, which everybody would expect, would be the octopus, the giant devilfish at the end of the movie, right? To come with it, maybe a small version of the octopus. But what I would really like to see is the box that contained the heart in the liquid, the beating heart. Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? How cool would that be? Wouldn't that be awesome? Jeremy, you got to see it now. I can't find the movie, but when I find it, I'm going to send it to you.
That sounds awesome.
It is absolutely a crazy story that actually is relevant because it deals with Hiroshima and World War II and the problem of the homeless people that the atomic bomb created, and it's a really, really great story. So it definitely gets overlooked, and it doesn't get as much love as I think it deserves, because I think it's a super cool fantasy Toho film. And
which one are you talking about?
Yeah, Frankenstein. Yeah, and even the American version, it's not changed too much. It's pretty close to the Japanese version. There's not that much difference in it, but it's definitely a great movie. But yeah, so my choice would be the crate, the metal crate with the heart in the vat of liquid, the everlasting heart. I think that would be kind of a cool thing. But we'll see.
All right. I'm gonna go with mine, and mine is kind of like multiple because I'm a truck driver for a living, and when you're driving and you're tired of hearing the radio, sometimes I cut my radio off and I just have my mind wander. So I have a lot of ideas, but I don't want to bombard everybody here. So I give like maybe let's say 3. To elaborate on Jeremy's point, if we're up to me, I mentioned this on the group a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. King Ghidorah 91. I would have the standard be regular King Ghidorah, 25 centimeter, obviously, and I would have the rip board to be Mecha King Ghidorah, because I know You know,
Yeah.
Mecha King Ghidorah, I think, is really awesome. And my original idea was to have King Ghidorah standard, but yet like have alternate pieces to convert it into Mecha King Ghidorah, like with the alternate wings and alternate meta head.
That's a great idea.
Those dumbbells he had on his ankles, whatever that was. But I thought that's probably like too much. Now that I can see them doing that for SH Monster Arts, but not X Plus. So I will see them doing what they did with like Mechagodzilla 93 last year, right? That has the standard Mechagodzilla, and they had the Rick as the Super Mechagodzilla. So apply that to King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is the standard, Mecha King Ghidorah is the Rick. All right, that's one idea.
That's
Leslie, they also did that with the Final Wars Gigan too. I think the Rick was like that.
Actually, Final Wars Gigan had like the alternate chainsaw hands and the alternate head. But I'm just looking at it from X Plus point of view. Like they would do that to make folks double dip. And even you, Eric, has said if they were to do that, you would actually get both. You would get both King Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah, which is fine. You know what I mean? I know, like John Stanowski, for example, he got both the Super Mechagodzilla and the regular Mechagodzilla. Because S Plus would do a pimp move like that. But another idea I would like to see, a 30-centimeter Rose Biollante is probably a Rick Boy exclusive.
That would be sweet. People would love that.
Yeah, what if it had like a mist feature where it could mist out or something, like a humidifier or something?
Yeah, something like that.
That's cool. I would like that a lot. Yeah. I would love that a lot.
Yeah, I know Christine would really love that too. You know, she would love
the Rose Biollante. Yeah. Yeah,
and I can see that being a Rick Boy just exclusive item because I don't see a lot of people going for Biollante, the Rose form, because I don't think that the Rose form is like universally loved like the bigger version. So to save money, I would have X Plus use that as a Rick Boy exclusive, kind of like the third form of Shin. You know what I mean? Just something for a niche market. And my last idea, and might as well stay with the movie, Biollante. If they do this at Winterfest tonight or in the future, I want the Gigantic 89 to be the next Gigantic 4. But I'm talking about 89, for example. And take a page from the Frozen 95 Godzilla that had, because Eric got it back there right behind him. And it had a mini Super X3 as like an option for it. But with the 89, have an in-scale Super X2 that you can open up that shows the fire mirror. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
So those are the choose.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
What do you guys think is going to happen the day the X Plus runs out of Godzilla to come up with? You think
they're not? Me and Leslie already talked about that. They're just smart, man. X Plus is smart. I'm telling you, it's going to be a long time.
But you know what? Because there are still a few monsters out there that X Plus has not done yet. That's why I think they're getting more into the Star Wars pieces and other alternative pieces. You know, try to expand that roster because they know that they're going to run out of ideas as far as Godzilla is concerned, either between that or just having difficulties obtaining licenses, like the Toho Kongs, for example. So S Plus knows this. That's why they're trying to expand into more lines or more franchises to do figures of. But at some point, I'm sure they will, or somebody else, another company may come up and pick up where S Plus has left off and try to do things better. But for the time being, the only thing we can do is just sit back and relax and just wait and see what's going to happen. But I have to say that Favorite Sculptors line has really got me interested. The Sakai's have too, but this Favorite Sculptors line, I'm really looking forward to see what other great kits that they are going to and deliver to us. You know what I mean?
Can I chime in on that too? One of my grails, which I can't seem to find the kit, and I'm hoping X Plus does it, is I don't know if you've ever seen it. Jeremy, you probably know this. The Yuji Sakai 30-centimeter resin Kiryu Goji 2002 with the closed mouth.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Okay, that is a sweet, sweet, sweet kit, and it's like going for about $7 right now. even if you can find it. Okay, so if X Plus would get that sculpt that Sakai again, if he could do that one and and reproduce it in vinyl, it'd be like I would be totally stoked. And that would fit into the favorite sculptors line, like you were just talking about. And so I really hope that's something that we may see down the line, because there's only one figure of that Godzilla, and that was the first one that I bought. And he's kind of looking up, and it's a strange pose. It's not a great pose. And it's time for an update. And also what you were saying is X Plus is going to run out of ideas. That's not going to happen anytime soon, because what they can do and what they will do is they'll revisit pieces that they can improve on. You know what I mean? One that's like, well, maybe like, honestly, and I'm going to be honest here, the new 30 centimeter 75, I still think they're not quite hitting it out of the park with that figure. It's better than the 25, but for me, the paint's a little sloppy. It's a little basic. It's not a great. It's kind of a static pose. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm happy that they love it. But I would like to see one more like the Billiken kit. It's super, super accurate, and it's still, to me, it's a little off. So anyway, it basically what they can do is revisit sculpts that they maybe didn't hit out of the park the first time.
One figure, you're speaking of 70s Godzilla. Is there a possibility for a favorite sculptors line for the Imposter Mechagodzilla with the piece in the arm showing? Because that was one X Plus figure that I wish I just had, the Imposter Mechagodzilla from 1974.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. I think they could either do a Rick, where they do a new sculpt of the 74, and Rick would be an alternate head that looks like the fake one, and the arm that comes off with the piece.
Yeah, that would be so sweet.
Right.
The space titanium showing through, right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So that would be a cool Rick piece to have.
And the extra could be the pipe that the guy's smoking on, that metal pipe.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
The pipe made out of space titanium.
Right. And like David said, they can revisit some figures that they did good on, but they can improve on by doing great. Like, for example, the Burning Godzilla, they did a great job with the 30 as an upgrade from the 25.
Yep, they did. You're right.
And there are other 25 centimeters out there that could use an upgrade in the 30. Gabra, you love Gabra, that's good. But in my opinion, I think they did not the best job on the face as far as the paint apps. So, but they can revisit in the 30. Or this guy right here. And I know that David and I and Eric, we love this suit. We love the 67 suit.
I love that suit too.
I have no problem with that suit.
Yeah.
It works for the movie. It works for that movie.
Yeah, but they would revisit this in a 30 centimeter. Like, it's the thing. The dorsal plates are great. The body is great. It's just the face. The face
it's a little bit off. Yeah.
So that's what everybody is agreeing upon. The problem with that figure with the 67, you think it's just the face, or is it just it don't have nothing to do with the body, or is it just the face?
I think the face
I think a lot of people don't like that suit, Eric, at all. So you're not going to be happy with anything they do. But yeah, for those of us who do like it, I think the face is just a little bit off. It's not perfect, but so. You guys, yeah, he needs to be a little bit tweaked too. It's okay, it's decent, but how much would you love to see and that's actually the Sea Monster suit. I'd like to see the Monster Zero 65 and 30. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
And then the Rick extra, which was going with our conversation, would be an X Saucer.
Nice.
How would that be? Would that be awesome or what? Yeah, we're there. Yeah, that's. I have the Billiken. The Billiken is really sweet. Yeah. It's a really great figure.
This is the big.
So would you like to have the X Saucer with that? Wouldn't that be cool, Rick?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd always want a gigantic series Minya, whether it's when he's coming out of the egg or just a gigantic series Minya altogether. How ridiculous and awesome would that be?
It would be ridiculous and awesome at the same time. Yeah, you're right.
Hey Dave,
Yes, sir.
I have one of those. I believe it's not. Maybe it is Billiken, but it had Real Model. Is Real Model the same as Billiken?
Real Model is Billiken. Yeah, it is.
Okay. I forget the name of this monster because I'm not into it. I'm not into Ultraman, but I think his name is Jiras.
Jiras. That's an awesome kit, Eric.
Yeah, but what I did, if I'm correct, I could be saying it wrong. If you need to correct me, just go right ahead.
Okay.
But I took that kit. Is it the monster with the frills?
He's got the big frill, yeah.
Yeah. So what I did, being that, I don't know if you guys know this, but Leslie know that the 66 is my favorite suit. So, I for some reason, the Billiken one, I could look at it and tell that it was kind of off. So the one of Jiras comes closest.
It does.
To the actual 66 suit. So what I did, I'm gonna show you what I did.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you customized it. You took the frill off.
Yeah, I took the frill off, and it was kind of hard to like cover it up, but I don't know if you can like see like the eyes on it.
Dude, that is awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
how'd you cut it off?
You know what, Eric? That's not the Billiken. That's the Falchion.
Falchion?
Falchion.
Okay, you might be right because I had it for a long time. So
I got the Billiken one, and also, let me show you the Billiken real quick. Hold on.
Yeah,
so
Eric.
How hard was it to take off the frill?
No, it when you get the kit, it's already off. So once you build the kit, it pops on. The frill actually pops on like this. So it's already a crease already here for the frill. So what I did was I took some glue and filled this in.
Nice.
Yeah.
I found it crazy that they stole the actual design of Godzilla and just added that thing on there.
So, Eric, can you see this? This is the Billiken one, and look at that face.
Oh, wow.
It's really accurate.
Godzilla meets Jurassic Park.
And look at the body. I mean, it is basically a 66.
Yeah.
But who painted that thing? Who painted that? Because that looks awesome.
I did.
Hey.
Yeah, he's a sweet figure. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this monster because I do Ultraman.
Okay.
Basically, when Toho lent, or Tsuburaya did the special effects for both Ultraman and the Godzilla series, right? E.g. Tsuburaya. So Ultraman was Tsuburaya's project, and he recycled a lot of the suits from the Godzilla series because the Baragon suit showed up in about 3 or 4 Ultraman episodes. Naranga and Gabora, different monsters. Anyway, this is not the body. This body is a 64 body. The head is a 66. That's why. See, it's not as boxy. You see, it's more like a Mothra versus Godzilla body.
Right.
The head is 66. So they put those two together and they tied it together with the frill to make Jiras.
So is that kind of how they hid the seams to rip off the head and stick on the other?
I bet you that's why they put the frill on it, to sort of hide the fact that it's two different. It's a head from one suit and the body from another suit. And for a long time in Japan, they had this suit on display. It's disintegrated now in a traveling exhibit. But yeah, it's always been a really cool creature. I've always loved both Godzilla and Jiras. And anyway, I collect Ultraman too from the first series.
Yeah. And
what X Plus has been doing for that, which is great and annoying at the same time, they did all 39 monsters, right? They're all done. And now what they're doing sporadically is they're doing better sculpts of certain ones, calling it the Reborn series. So it's great because you get a better sculpt, but then it sucks. You have to buy another one. So it's upgraded. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think they're going to apply that theory to their Godzilla series once they run out of new sculpts to do. They're going to and I'm almost positive they're going to do that. Even in the same scale, like they may do another 75 and 25 centimeter, like a whole brand new sculpt, because the popularity of these things is just through the roof, as we all know. And in Japan, they're popular too. They sell out in Japan because when you look at Hobby Search, that's mostly Japanese customers, and they're sold out within, you know, mostly in pre-order, they're sold out. And one more thing before I forget, another grail of mine would be if they did a 30 centimeter 56 Rodan.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That stands up correctly.
Yeah, that thing needs to come with a paint warranty, dude. That thing falls over like a drunken.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad, but
you know what I would like to see? From what I see on Instagram, the SD line is very popular actually, and the most hits I get on Instagram are for the SD series. I would like to see more of the SDs like from the 70s, like King Caesar, Mechagodzilla. I think those would be good.
I think they'll do it. I mean, they started with the Train Biter that's coming, right? The super deformed, what do they call it? Defo Real? Is that the name?
Real. Yeah.
Real. They're doing the Train Biter, and then I bet you they'll do a 55 and so on. So yeah, they're fun little figures, and they're relatively affordable comparatively speaking.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, eventually they will. Trust me, S Plus will get to the figures that that we've been wanting. Because years ago, I wasn't sure they would ever make a Destroyer, but they did. I wasn't sure they would make a large-scale Legion, but they did. I wasn't sure if they were going to do a Kazakadora, but they did. They did. So it's only a matter of time before we get what we really want, and I hope that Wonderfest in a couple of hours will at least tell us something.
Yeah, we're gonna find out soon because I was talking to Jamie this morning, and he was standing in line, waiting to get in. Right. So he's in there now, probably.
Right. So at any moment we should get some news, but that pretty much concludes this live stream discussion in regards to Rick Boys. And I want to thank each and every one of my guests, Jeremy Souls, Eric Arrington, David Dopko, my brothers. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this discussion. The next time, I'm sorry, like I said, I had trouble getting this on board here, but I will be better prepared next time. As a matter of fact, the next time I do want y'all to come aboard, if y'all are willing to do so, will be probably the first week in April. Probably the first week in April. By then, we should all have our gigantic 64s.
Yep.
Like a live stream where we all going to review it from our particular point of view.
That's a deal. I'm down with that. That's a deal.
I'm also.
Oh no, you lost me, Leslie. You made me wait 15 minutes. I don't know if I can do it.
Say what?
You made me wait 15 minutes. I don't know if I want to come back.
Oh
man!
Ouch!
He knows.
Come on, man. Huh?
I said he knows I'm giving him a hard time.
Yeah. I mean,
thanks for inviting us on. It was really
definitely.
Fun.
No problem, man. I mean, I'm not the tech guru like you, Jeremy, where you can stop traffic with stop lights with your cell phone. I'm not that technology. I'm not that advanced like you, but I'm gonna get there because I do want to do more live streams and get more interactive with y'all. You know what I mean? And like I said, the next time I want to get y'all together is when we have the gigantic 64s. So we can all sit down and talk about it and just have a good time with it. So, thank y'all so much for being a part of this, David.
Just one thing.
Yes, sir.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
I just want to apologize to Dave and Jeremy. The reason I usually don't like telling people, but I mean it's my personal business. But the reason why I say I wasn't going to G-Fest is because since the last time I saw you, Dave, I was in good health, but I developed rheumatoid arthritis and it's kicking me in my ass now.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, and right now I don't have any cartilages in my knee and I can't even walk 15 paces without freaking being tired.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Normally my trips is over, but but like you said, Japan is a dying wish. So I'm gonna get there though.
Man,
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. The only person that knew about it was Leslie, and I was worse off, 4 or 5 months ago than I am now. I was in a wheelchair.
Oh boy.
But being that I'm on my Humira, and pills and stuff, I'm much better, thank God. So, but I didn't mean, I didn't want to make you guys think, oh, he's rude or whatever. But no, it didn't, it's just that I'm mad at myself because they saying it's hereditary. I'm still trying to find out how is it hereditary. I don't know anybody in my family with it. So, but
well, I just didn't know why you weren't coming anymore, because all of a sudden you just weren't coming, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't like, I'm not the type of person that'll throw my problems on somebody else, and I'm kind of personal, with things. Right. So, because me and Leslie, we talk all the time, and, he asked me, and I told him, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I don't know when. I can't, I can never say, but I'm not going to go nowhere. I mean, if I do go, I'm going to have to fly first class. Everywhere, any and everything I do, I'm going to have to pay extra for it.
Right.
So, because I can't, just stay seated for an extra long time. And I know from here to there is like 4.5 hours or something.
Yeah, it's a long flight. So
yeah. You know what that kind of makes me think? It'd be nice if they had some sort of live stream for the people that couldn't make it, like the panels. Like if they could set up a website with their like live streaming or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. But I enjoyed it the 2 times I did go. I think I actually went the first time you went, Dave. I think
you did. That was our first year.
I think that was my first year too, 2013.
That was my first year. Yeah. Yep. That was my first year.
And then I went.
And we had talked online, so it's like I knew you too when we first met in the dealer's room. I remember it. I absolutely remember it.
Yep. So all in all, I just didn't want you guys to think, oh, he's an idiot, but it's just that
conclusions like that about people.
I was just wondering why. That's all. I mean, I never thought anything negative. I just didn't know what the reasoning was. If somebody offended you or what? Like
no. It's nothing like that. It's just. I mean, I'm actually, like I said, I'm just mad with myself because a lot of things that I used to do, just slowed down. Like, I forget, it was one guy on the group. He lives in California. I forget his name. He used to rock ATVs, and he knew that I was into ATVs because I was
Cody. Cody Roberts. Yeah, he's awesome.
And I can't even do that anymore. And I got 2 of them sitting in the garage. I can't even ride them. Because this finger here, this hand right here, I can't even straighten them out.
Oh man,
I can't straighten it out. So but Leslie, no, I don't, it's just I don't, I just didn't want you guys to think, oh, why did he say, oh, I'm never going?
Well, I appreciate you letting us know.
Yeah.
You can ask you guys. I ain't gonna think negatively of you. Matter of fact, if you do happen to make it to G-Fest and we're up there, we'll make sure that you have a good time.
That's for sure. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it.
That's a guarantee.
Absolutely.
Leslie, I hope you can make it this year.
Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna tell y'all now. I am gonna be there this year. I know I said I was doubtful of making it, but actually we're gonna take the kids and we're gonna drive up there. Actually, you may see them more so. They're gonna be out in Chicago just looking at the city because the kids have never been to Chicago, right? So I'm gonna be more so at the convention. And afterwards, if there's nothing going on, then they may come pick me up and then I'll come back and then chill out, blah, blah, blah. But I will definitely be there this year. So whatever you got going on, Jeremy, this year or whatever, I got your back on that.
Are you doing a Summit Kaiju this year again?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm doing another panel.
That's awesome. And I love Leslie, you being the MC. That was so great. You went down the line like a game show host.
Dude, I need you. I need you, Leslie. You got to be there, man. It's not the same without you, David, and the rest of the people.
You know what, though? Do me a favor. Can I sit in the first seat, kind of next to you, Jeremy, because by the time it got to me at the end, everybody already like took my answers.
Yes.
Right?
It's called shotgun 5 months early. So
it was Nick Shev kept taking all my answers.
He got it. So yeah, I will definitely be there this year, and it's gonna be so much fun because I was really getting disappointed because I didn't know what we were gonna do. You know what I mean? And because Ashley, in my mind last year, because me and Sandra, we talked about it. We was like, if we go this year, because the year before in 2016 we had to leave early for a family emergency.
I remember that. Yeah.
So last year when we came, it was like, it's been good, and then she was like, maybe we should think about doing something else for the summer. And she was like, would you mind giving up G-Fest for a year? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I was like, I'll probably go the year after that. But we talked to the kids, and they said, hey, I want to go to Chicago. So it's a win-win. So I will definitely be there this year.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I look forward to it. It's coming soon. It's already almost March, so we start getting excited about April because then it's coming down the corner. So
yeah, I'm already starting to prepare for my panel, and I think I'm going to design a new monster this year.
Oh, really? Cool.
Part of what's coming down the pipeline for me.
I got to start working on the book. I got all those photos for the book, so I mean.
David, you need to make that book more readily available because last year I didn't even get one of those books.
You don't have one?
I don't.
Well, I will make sure I'll print out a couple for this year who didn't get last year's. Don't worry.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You should have let me know a long time ago. I could have had it to you.
I think the mental exhaustion after G-Fest, I just forgot about things that happened.
It's really hard. People don't want to commit to buying it ahead of time. So I might have to change up my thinking. I had a whole bunch, and then people were saying that they wanted one, but they never actually said they did. And then people who really wanted one didn't get a copy. So that's what happened last year. So I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'll figure it out. But I got a couple months to figure it out.
Well, yeah, I've been looking forward to that.
Yep.
Like I said, I definitely will be there, and we'll definitely hang out and do our thing and stuff like that. And once again, the next time I want to have you all aboard, try and plan your schedules. I'll let you know ahead of time, at least on the time when the 64 drops. And by then, like I said, look for the live stream. Okay, Giraff. Look for the next live stream to occur. Maybe, like I said, the first week in April. By then, the 64s will be out, and we should, whatever. So probably the first weekend in April.
I'll be fine.
For that. So thank y'all so much for being a part of this. Once again, second live stream, Leslie Chambers Cottage Reviews with my good brothers, David, Eric, and Jeremy, and you will see them again on the next live stream.
Yep.
All right. So
take care.
Y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
Cheers, everybody.
Okay, nice meeting you guys too.
All right, take care.
All right, y'all take care.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.